The OFM community is full of very colorful individuals of all walks of life, all shapes and sizes, all different types of countries. But one thing that I will say is that many of them lack charm. Many OFM people, let's say, they just don't, they're just not suave. They're not smooth. They're not cool customers. And I will make the argument in this video that you can advance your career, you can propel your business forward by adding a little bit of charm to your online persona. I know it's a little bit weird, but this will help you not only networking in the OnlyFans community, but it will also help you with your models. It'll help you with your chatters. Because at the end of the day, if somebody likes you, if people like you, then they will want to be around you, whether that is in a professional sense, a social sense, familial, romantic. If you are charming, people like charming people. If you are endearing, people want to be around you, period. End of story. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips. Now, I'm not saying I'm like the most charming person in the world or like the most handsome or anything like that. If you say that, I won't disagree, but like, I think I've done pretty well for myself on my personality alone, because it definitely hasn't been other things. But soon it will be other things. But like, I've skated by on my personality up until this point, and I like to think that I've done pretty well as a result. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my top, 8 tips on how to use charm to get what you want in OnlyFans management. These are general tips, but I will tell you how to do them and how they've worked for me, and I will hopefully provide some examples. Number 1, most important one, adopt an overall positive disposition and be helpful. This goes for all walks of life. You go with your chatters, with your models, with people in Telegram, everyone. Just be helpful. And there's this idea, there's this weird like dichotomy in the OnlyFans Telegram fucking world where it's like people, they don't want to spill the sauce, but we're all there to kind of help each other and learn. But like there's limits to how much we will help each other. However, if you wanted to make a name for yourself very quickly, I mean, it's very easy to make a name for yourself in the OFM world. It's super low competition. Make a YouTube channel, fucking make a group and help people. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's not that hard. But in general, with your staff as well, with your models and your chatters, you want to overall be positive. I'm not saying, like, now that I think about that, with my models, I'm definitely positive. I definitely gas them up and fucking hype them up and like paint a picture in their head about how amazing they are and how well they're going to do and blah, blah, blah. With my chatters, they might think I'm a little bit of a hard ass, but that's only because I see them fuck up and they have to be corrected. Otherwise, I'm very positive. If they have a good sales day, I'll tell them good job, good sales day. If they do something that I think is extraordinary, I will fucking say nice things about them in front of everyone. And it will be, because I'm so hard on them, usually, it will boost them. But and overall, it comes from a good place. If I fuck up, I'll apologize. All right. Overall, you want to be positive. You want to just be a normal person. That will help. That will go a long way, because so many people have an ego. So many people try to project this persona of who they are. And, I understand. Believe it or not, I was young once, and I also was the type to want people to think that I was a certain way. When you get older, you kind of don't care anymore. You're like, this is who I am. You like it, you don't like it. Like I'm too tired to pretend as hard as I pretended before. So like what you see is what you get at this point. But when you're younger, you're a lot more, usually it comes out in the form of confrontation, because you're like, I'm like this. Okay, everybody, like this is me. This is who I am. And then some other guy who's also got something to prove will be like, well, no, you're not, because you said this. And it's like this conflict, and it's so stupid and pointless. Like it's just retarded. And there's no point to that. It's a major turnoff, let's just say, to people who are actually professional and actually in it, to make money and really to like, not to sound creepy or anything, but like to rise in power. Like those like petty squabbles, which is why, again, I've said it many times, you will never hear about beef that I have with anybody. You'll never hear about it. Maybe it exists, maybe it doesn't. Usually it doesn't because I just ignore it. But you would never hear about it anyway. You'll never hear me speak somebody's name that I have a problem with, or that like sent me a mean message or talk shit about me in some group. You'll never hear their name. You won't know who they are from me. Maybe from somebody else you'll know, but they won't get a molecule of sunlight from me. And that goes a long way, let me tell you, because it helps keep you focused. All right. Number 2, about being charming, getting what you want. This is a big one. Be nice to people, even if you have nothing to gain from them. Even if you have nothing to gain. Okay. And I'm going to also add to that, be enthusiastic. Be enthusiastic around everyone and also be nice. Because enthusiasm, when I say enthusiasm can come off in a way, you can have negative enthusiasm. You can be very enthusiastically, you can enthusiastically complain about something. You can enthusiastically berate somebody for something that they did. When I say be enthusiastic, what I mean is you want to get fucking excited. You want to get amped about whatever, anything. Because enthusiasm is contagious. It really is. They tell you that in sales. It's like if you talk about your product and you're like, oh yeah, this is really this thing, and it's really good, and we've got, we're cheaper and we're faster and we're better. That's boring. Even if it and all those things maybe are true, right? But the way that you say it, if you say it like that, it's like, oh God, I don't even want to buy it now because this guy's so fucking boring. But if you're talking about it and you're super enthusiastic, even if it's exactly the same and you're lying and you're like, this one is so much better and it's fucking so much more amazing and it's the exact same thing, people will still want to buy the second one just because of the way you talked about it. So whatever it is, whatever you're talking about, be enthusiastic, be pumped, be amped about it. Talk about it like you're like fucking, you live in a cardboard box. I don't care. It's the best fucking cardboard box you've ever lived in. It's the best, like, you can't wait to show off your cardboard box. Like I don't know, you ate fucking tuna fish for dinner for the past 6 months because you're broke. You fucking love tuna fish. You want to eat tuna fish every night because it's so good and fucking all the protein, and like, see the positive, be enthusiastic, and it will rub off on other people. And it's so easy to be negative, right? I know there's a lot of young guys that are on Telegram that do OFM, and a lot of young guys also. There's like a big overlap, I think. People who use 4chan and people who do OFM, right? I used 4chan for a long time. The vibe on there is very negative. I'm not saying there's no positivity on there. I'm not saying that there's nothing, that the site is not useful or should not be used, but the vibe on there is very negative. And if you're not careful, that negativity will seep into other areas in your life, and it will force you to adopt a negative view about everything. It's not good. I can tell. Let me put it to you like this. I know in the chats, I can identify who uses 4chan by the way they talk, period. Like it's clear, it's obvious that you've been on the site for 8 years and you haven't escaped. So, and it's not, you might be smart, good for you, you're smart, but like you have a fucking very heavy weight attached to your ankle as a result of your negativity, that until you remove yourself from that site, like it's a great site. Don't get me wrong. I've had some great laughs on there for sure. But like overall, I would say it's a net loss just because of the negativity. Now that said, be enthusiastic, be positive, and don't be a dick. Number 3, make jokes, but not at other OFM people's expense. So, like I said about enthusiasm, if you are enthusiastic, people will be drawn to you. They will, whether it's that you have a vision, whether it's that you have crazy goals, whether it's that you want to do something big, whatever it is. Okay. If you're enthusiastic about it, people will notice at least. And they'll be like, oh, who's this guy with this fucking crazy goal talking all this shit? Like, you might get tested, sure. But that's where your enthusiasm is supposed to come in and override those tests. Anyway, in a similar vein, if you are funny, if you're actually funny, then people will also be drawn to you, because everybody loves to laugh. I don't care who you are. Fucking Kim Jong-un loves to laugh. Hitler loved to laugh. Fucking Joe Biden, I don't know, whoever you hate, right? Whoever the guy is who's like the worst guy in the world, they love laughing. Everybody loves laughing. And if you can make people laugh, then they will want to be around you, right? They'll just be drawn to you because they'll know, oh my God, here's this person. They're so funny. When are they going to do something funny? And if you're reliably funny, or if you cultivate that skill of humor, then people will want to be around you. Now, here's the important thing to note. You don't want to make the jokes at other people's expense. Or if it is at somebody else's expense, it needs to lack cruelty. Okay. Now, one thing about humor is that humor by its nature will always have a target. There is no joke that does not have a target of the joke. Every joke has something that it's making fun of. So what you want to avoid is making fun of other OFM people, unless you can do it in a way that it's kind of hard, right? You need to have a certain level of social savviness, let's say, to identify if it is in good taste, right? What I see a lot of, and I'm sure I've even done this myself, I'm not perfect, but like somebody will ask a question in a group and and it's a basic question, right? And I'll just give some fucking ridiculously stupid answer just because like it's the 1,000th time I've seen that question. They could have figured out the answer by using the search function. Maybe they could have even figured out the answer by Googling it. And I'm just like, I just can't stop myself. And I just type out some bullshit. It's like, blah. Is that at somebody else's expense? I'm not sure. It kind of depends. Like, what was the question? But anyway, in general, you don't want to clown other people on Telegram. You don't want to do it. All right. It's not a good practice to be in, because if you publicly embarrass somebody, that person is going to hold a grudge, and that person might try to fuck you up in the future, fuck you over in some way, or talk shit about you. You never know. It's a small community. Shit can come back to bite you in the ass. And the higher you get, the smaller it gets. So like, take it for what it's worth. However, if you do make a joke at somebody's expense, do it at a 3-to-1 ratio of compliments to roasts. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. I like to make jokes about, if you're going to make a joke about somebody, okay, if you're going to clown somebody important, okay? I'm sure I'm going to get some flack for this. Clown somebody who everybody knows who they are, right? Because if you do that, so this is a little secret trick. This is a hack, right? If you make fun of somebody who's important, because usually important people, they don't get tested like that. Nobody says that type of shit to them. Everybody's afraid of them. Everybody respects them. You know, they have maybe like a business where everybody respects them, community where everybody respects them. If you crack a joke about them, you crack a joke at their expense, it automatically brings you up to their level. And so it helps those people see you as their equal. Even if you're not, even if you're just a fucking newbie, you just arrived today. If you're able to crack a joke and get people to laugh about that person, and again, it should be done in good taste. Okay. I'm not saying like you don't make fun of their physical appearance. Probably not a good, ethnicity, you can try, right? If it's tasteful and funny, that's fine. Also choose your targets carefully. Take somebody that, isn't a psycho. But if you are going to do it, you need to cushion the roast with some compliments. Cushion it with some nice things. And it's just as simple as afterwards saying, oh, but no, for real, that person is super cool. Oh, but no, for real, like I really love blah thing that they do, thing that they have, thing that they run, whatever. But in general, like, see, it's really hard to give general advice about this because I know a bunch of you are going to go out and fucking use it wrong, but it is what it is. Anyway, next way, how to get what you want with charm. Put yourself out there. Take a risk. Do something to put yourself out there. Start a YouTube channel, start a group, start a service, start a fucking blog, start a podcast, Do something, throw your hat into the ring to put yourself out there to get people to know who you are. Just by the mere fact that you are exposed to the general public, that automatically will make you look more charming. Even if you're not charming, if you have no personality at all, you don't emote, your voice is flat, and you just sit there and fucking talk like a robot, it will either force you to work on those things, or you will naturally appeal to other people who are like that as well. Because people will see that. And even if, like, I can tell you this, okay? Every time I see somebody start a new YouTube channel, part of me inside feels a sense of happiness of like, oh, even if it's somebody I don't like, I'm like, wow. Because I know what it's like to start a new YouTube channel. I mean, I've been doing this for so long. Like, I'm not nervous to like get here and make a video and talk. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But I know that for somebody who's just starting out, like before I started, oh my God, I was a fucking nervous wreck. Like I thought about it for years before doing it. So I know that somebody who just makes their first video or just makes those first couple videos, I know what that's like. And that immediately makes me like that person a little bit more, even if I don't like them, even if I don't like their conduct, even if I've seen them talk shit about somebody that I do like. If they start a new YouTube channel, I'm like, wow, good for them. You know, respect that they did that. And so, you know, you don't need to be somebody who makes YouTube videos in order to appreciate that, because for every person who actually takes the plunge and fucking starts making videos, I promise you, there's another 100 people who are like sitting and wishing that they would have the balls to do it. And it could be whatever. Because like, I'm pretty sure everybody, or fucking 50% of people, I don't know, I don't know exact numbers, but I don't know, a lot of people, a lot of people have thought about putting themselves out there, but are too scared. They're too scared to do it. They want to make TikToks, they want to make reels, they want to make YouTube videos, they want to do a podcast, fucking whatever. They want to do something, but they're just too scared to do it because they're scared of the criticism that they're going to get. So by you doing it, you will automatically endear yourself to all those people. Be like, wow, I can't believe this person did that. And then when they look at you, they'll have this sort of altered perception of you, which will inadvertently increase your charm level, let's say. Number 5, 6, just kidding. Offer value before and after asking for something. So in a situation, this is something that, think about it like this. Every time you open your mouth, every time you type a sentence is an opportunity for you to charm the other person. Okay. Everything that you say, you should think to yourself, if possible, right? You should think, why am I saying this? What is the goal of this communication? What is the purpose of this communication? And if it's just general communication where you're not actively necessarily trying to convince the other person to do a specific action for you, the general goal, I would argue, would be to increase your, how do I say this? To make yourself appear more charming to that person. I'm not saying you need to try hard and be like extra funny or anything like that. But an easy way to add value to people is to hype them up. Very easy, right? So one thing that I do for my models, right? I'll give you guys this as an example. So if I need something from a model, let's say I need 100 videos from her about something. I'm going to say, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add value. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to say, hey, I need those videos. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey, the chatter's doing really well on your account. He just sold $300 today, whatever. He's killing it. He's killing it. You're so money, baby, whatever. And they'll be like, oh my God, wow, that's so cool. And then I'll be like, then I'll sneak my ask in there. I'll be like, oh, and by the way, I need those 100 videos from you. Right. And that's what you say before you ask, and then you do the ask, and then afterwards you offer more value again. Right. So in this case, what you would want to do is you want to hype them up about the future. It's called future pacing. So you're going to say, oh man, once we get those 100 videos, like it's going to be so crazy. They're going to be so good. Like I can tell. What I like to do is I like to reward people based on how much effort they put in. I'm like, I know you work so hard on this type of stuff. So like, I know it's going to be amazing. You're a perfectionist. And once we get those, like it's going to 3x our fucking money, something like that, some bullshit. And that right there like what, I guess I have to more accurately define what is charm. Charm is really people responding positively to you, even when you don't do anything, or even when you do neutral things. Man, I shouldn't have made these videos so early in the morning. All right, next one. Don't be a bootlicker just because you want to get people to like you. Set boundaries. So this is a good example of something that is not really what people conventionally think of as charm. Setting boundaries is not something that is generally thought of to endear yourself to people. But when you set a boundary, people know not to fuck with you, right? Whether it's your employees, because human beings, we're always constantly testing each other. We're always testing to see like, what can I get away with from this person? What will they give me? How much can I get from them without having to give anything? It's unconscious. It's just how our brains are wired, just how society works. We're always testing each other. And it's a natural tendency of people that are in a lower position of power to bootlick people that are in a higher position of power, however you want to measure that, whether it's influence, whether it's, comparing bank accounts, whether it's popularity in groups, like whatever, doesn't matter. Don't be a bootlicker. Do not be a bootlicker. You have to treat other people like you are on the same level as them. Even if you're not, even if you're insecure around them, even if you objectively write their accomplishments down on paper and you compare them to yours and theirs are like fucking this long and yours are this long, you still need to treat that person like you're on the same level. I'm not saying don't give a compliment. I'm not saying don't flatter them to butter them up, but there's a difference between that and being a bootlicker. What is being a bootlicker? Well, I guess I'll define this. You see this a lot in chatting, where a chatter will be talking to a sub and the chatter will ask for information and be like, oh, so where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm from Oregon. Oh my God, you're from Oregon? Whoa, I love Oregon so much. Oregon is the best. Oh my God, I can't believe you're from Oregon. That's so cool. Wow. I can't believe it. I met somebody from Oregon. So amazing, right? That's bootlicking, okay? It's not what you want to do. Anyway, last one. I'm starting to fade here. So last one is that you want to show that you are capable of being professional. I know OFM, it's a very casual game, right? We're all bros. We're all homies, right? We're all cut from the same cloth. There's really that vibe in the community. It's like we're all the same. We're all going through the same shit. We're all on the same grind. We're all in the same hustle. And very few people, nobody comes from with a silver spoon in their mouth. Maybe your odd person here and there comes from fucking millionaire, billionaire family. But usually not. We're all hustlers. We're all online. We're all working. We're all trying to fucking get ours. And we're all very aligned in that sense. So there's a very casual vibe. And people, the way they talk to each other is very casual. However, I would argue that this is not always a good thing, in that regardless of how comfortable you are with people who you feel you have a lot in common with, it's still important to conduct yourself in a professional manner, or at the very least, to show that you are capable of that. You do not want to show that you are a fucking emotional teenager and you fly off the handle about dumb shit because your pride was insulted or something like that. Anyway, this advice is too general. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it was helpful for you. I'm cutting this one short and I will see you in the next one.